the Chinese company that threatens Tesla in Europe. This company is killing Tesla, and nobody is talking about it. Everyone thinks Tesla is the future of electric cars. Everyone thinks Europe still controls the auto industry. And everyone thinks China just copies what others invent. They're wrong. While the world was watching Elon Musk, a silent company was growing. Faster, cheaper, and deadlier. No hype, no cult following, no headlines, just factories, batteries, and numbers that terrified governments. This company now sells more electric cars than Tesla. It controls its own batteries, its own chips, its own supply chain, and it's not trying to compete anymore. It's trying to replace everyone. This is the story of BYD, the company that could collapse the global car industry without firing a single shot. Before cars, the battery nobody took seriously by didn't start as a car company. It started in 1995 in Shenzhen with one obsession: batteries. Back then, battery power meant one thing: Japan, Sony, Panasonic, Sanyo. China, on the other hand, was seen as cheap labor. Assembly lines, not innovation. BYD had no brand power, no prestige, no technological reputation. What it did have was desperation and speed. BYD couldn't afford cutting-edge automation, so it did something radical. Instead of replacing humans with machines, it built entire production systems around human labor. Thousands of workers, relentless efficiency, costs crushed to the bone. Crude? Yes. Elegant? Not at all. Effective? Devastatingly so. Within a few years, BYD became one of the world's largest producers of rechargeable batteries, supplying phones, electronics, and eventually industries. And that's when its founder, Wang Chuanfu, understood something most executives never do. If you don't control the core technology, you don't control your destiny. And in the future of cars, the core technology wouldn't be engines, it would be batteries. In 2003, BYD made a move that confused everyone. It bought a bankrupt Chinese car company. The reaction was instant ridicule. A battery supplier building cars against Toyota, against Volkswagen, against Ford. Impossible. These companies had over 100 years of engineering knowledge. BYD had none. But here's the mistake everyone made. BYD wasn't trying to beat them at what they were good at. It wasn't chasing luxury. It wasn't chasing speed. It wasn't chasing legacy. BYD was chasing scale. Cheap cars, electric cars, mass-produced cars. While Western automakers focused on protecting margins, BYD focused on killing costs. While Tesla dreamed of Silicon Valley disruption, BYD was planning something far more dangerous: industrial domination. Tesla looked revolutionary, software first, design driven, charismatic leadership. Legacy automakers looked safe, German engineering, Japanese reliability, American muscle. BYD looked boring, and that's exactly why it was ignored. Tesla focused on branding, software, high margins. Legacy automakers focused on protecting old factories, transitioning slowly, avoiding disruption. BYD focused on batteries, cost control, vertical integration. BYD doesn't depend on suppliers. It is the supplier. It makes its own batteries, its own motors, its own power electronics, its own semiconductors, its own factories. No delays, no bargaining, no vulnerability. And then BYD introduced something that changed everything. The electric car industry had a problem. Batteries were powerful, but dangerous. Thermal runaway, fires, explosions. Fear slowed adoption. BYD didn't respond with marketing, it responded with engineering. The blade battery was different, long, flat, structurally integrated, but more importantly, it was almost impossible to ignite. BYD publicly abused it. They pierced it with metal rods, crushed it, overheated it. No explosion, no fireball, no panic. While competitors chased range and performance, BYD solved trust. This wasn't innovation for headlines. This was innovation for survival. Then came 2023. Quietly, without drama, BYD sold more electric vehicles than Tesla. No celebrity CEO, no viral launches, no hype machine, just numbers, and those numbers sent shockwaves. Europe panicked. Suddenly, Chinese EVs were cheaper and good. The United States responded with tariffs. Legacy automakers began lobbying governments, not because BYD was unfair, but because BYD was unstoppable. Tesla is extraordinary, but Tesla is still one company. BYD is something else. BYD is an ecosystem. It sells passenger cars, buses, trucks, trains, batteries, energy storage systems, solar technology, semiconductors. BYD doesn't just electrify cars, it electrifies cities. And here's the most terrifying part. Legacy automakers lose money on EVs. Tesla survives on margins and software. BYD profits because it owns the entire stack. When others cut prices, they bleed. When BYD cuts prices, it bleeds its competitors dry. BYD is everywhere. Europe, Asia, Latin America, Africa. Factories are being built faster than regulations can react. Governments are trapped. Ban BYD and anger consumers. Allow BYD and destroy domestic industries. This isn't competition, it's pressure. And pressure breaks systems. BYD isn't just selling vehicles, it's exporting industrial power, manufacturing speed, economic gravity. This is not the story of a company, this is the story of a shift from west to east, from branding to production, from promise to inevitability. And the question nobody wants to answer. If BYD continues growing, what happens to German engineering, Japanese reliability, American dominance? What happens when the cheapest option is no longer the worst, but the smartest? This isn't disruption, this is replacement. The world feared Tesla would change everything, and it did. Tesla proved electric cars were possible, but BYD is proving something far more dangerous, that they are inevitable, and this time, the industry may not survive it.